Gentlemen, I'm back again with another interesting video from Felons Talk. And today I'm going to be talking about why why I was so happy when when what's his name? I keep forgetting. I'm getting old. Uh, Tommy Silverstein. Why I was so happy when Tommy and Clay killed um, Cadillac Smith. All right. The reason I was so happy when they killed him was because when I first came to Lewisburg in 1976, all right, I witnessed a murder that never ever should have happened. All right, and I'm going to tell you what it was. I don't know if I went through this before in a previous video or not. I know I talked to somebody about it. I think it might have been Chad Marks. I think I did a interview with him about this, and so I don't think I did it on this channel here though. Although I may have. If so, I'm repeating myself. Anyway, here's the story. Back in the days, um, when somebody came into Lewisburg who was designated for camp, uh, it took quite a while before they actually, uh, from the time that they arrived in Lewisburg until the time they were actually put into the camp population, it took two, maybe 3 weeks. Okay. And during those 2 or 3 weeks, they were generally housed in general population with the rest of the inmates. Well, there was this kid. He was a young kid, about 22 years old, from Philly, Jewish kid, first offender, uh, nonviolent drug crime, and he was serving a 3 year sentence. And under the old law, that made him eligible for parole in 1 year, and it made him eligible for mandatory release in 2 years. So the kid was barely doing, he wasn't going to be there long enough to get his ears wet, really, and he was going back to a nice life. His father, I understood, to be like some big rabbi here in Philadelphia. Uh, Big rabbi, came from a good, Jewish family, had money and resources, and probably would have went on to lead a normal life, a good life, you know. Uh, and what happens then is that once you get there to Lewisburg, they put you out in general population, and there's what they call the C&P office, classification and parole. I guess that's what it's called, right? And that's where they shuffle papers around and they do all this, score sheets and this and that, and da 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 da. And then they say, okay, boom, you're ready to go to the camp now. And they open up a door and out you go. You know, the camp has no restrictions. There's no fences. There's nothing. You know, there's a pig farm out there. That's one of the things you could do if you were interested in working on a pig farm. They'll let you work on a pig farm. I believe they had a small Unicor out there. Unicor is where you work, for the government, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, where they employ you in some small capacity to manufacture whatever the fuck it is that they're manufacturing. Um, and they pay you. I don't think they ever changed the pay grade ever, even to this day. Uh, anyway, it's a small amount of money. Once you get up to first grade pay, I think it's $180 a month. Uh, it may have gone up. I mean, geez Christ, it never went up in all the years that I was in prison. But since I've gotten out, who knows? They may have raised it. You it wasn't a great deal of money, but that was something else you could do. And there were other jobs as well that you could do out there. You could be just a unit orderly. There are probably programs out there that you could take. Uh, you know, school, whatever. There were. It was just a regular prison. It was just like very, very casual. You know what I mean? Uh, People out there were very casual. You could walk away. There was no stopping you from getting away. You could just walk off, and they wouldn't charge you with escape. They would charge you with something similar to escape. Um, but since there was no physical barrier for you to cross, it wasn't really considered an escape. It was something less than an escape in terms of the charge that you would receive uh, if you were to get caught. They weren't. I think at that time, escape was like 5 years if you got caught. Okay. Well, if you got caught walking away from a camp, I think it was 3 years because there was no physical barrier, and they took that into consideration, and so it wasn't as serious an offense. So that's how it went. And I've seen quite a few people come into the institution there, and without a problem, they'll end up going out into the camp. Every week there was somebody going out. Well, this kid comes in, they put him in D block, on the second floor of D block. I don't even remember the kid's name. I don't remember. But apparently, he some black dude tried to rape him up there, which is kind of unusual, to be honest with you. Uh, he he just had the look of you know somebody who could be terrorized, I guess. And so that was a kind of a mark that some people would go after. And he broke loose from this guy and ran downstairs to the first floor. And Freddie Ionella seen him and noticed, like, he said, "What the hell is going on with you, man? You look like you just, saw a ghost, because the kid was like shaken up, right?" And the kid told him, some guy upstairs tried to rape me and this and that. So Freddie goes and tells the other guys. He says, "Man, some black guy upstairs here is trying to rape this kid." The kid's like, he's like designated for the camp, this kid, right? And, they had already kind of looked out for him a little bit when he first got there, as they do with everybody. They kind of look out for you, give you a little care package and so forth. So they were aware of who he was. So they were like, "Man, this ain't cool. We're going to go up there and put that dude in check, man. Let him know that this is a very uh, you know, this ain't going to happen anymore. We need you to understand that this is not cool. And if you have the desire to do this type of thing, do it to one of your own people. Don't don't try to do it to a white guy." That was all they wanted to say. Okay, and they went upstairs, 5 or 6 deep, and one of the guys that was with him was a kid named Cato. I don't remember his last name, but Cato didn't like he didn't get the message from everybody. I guess he wasn't on the same like frame of mind as everyone else. That they were just going to put this guy in check. That was the whole purpose. They wasn't going up there to attack the guy or to hurt him. They were just going to let him know, that we come to tell you that this is not going to happen again in the future. Not to take any, actions right now against you or anything, but just to let you know. Okay, well, Cato didn't get the memo, I guess, and he took off on the guy and stabbed him, right? And everybody was kind of shocked and took off. All right, went back downstairs, and that was and the kid, the black dude, he went to the guard, said, "I've been stabbed. I need to be seen by a doctor." So they took him right to the hospital, I guess. And apparently, he was stabbed kind of serious, but it didn't kill him or anything. Well, they locked up Cato right away. Okay. So right away, we knew he snitched on the guy. All right. Because how else would they know? Right. Anyway, and later on, it turned out that he testified against Cato, testified in court against him. Right. that was like months later. In the interim time, in the meantime, you know, everybody went back to doing what they normally do. And on Friday night, we used to go upstairs to watch a movie. Every Friday, there was a movie above the mess hall in Lewisburg, and it looked like a regular movie theater. The seats and everything, and they weren't real comfortable. They were just like wooden seats. You pull the chair down and sit down. But you could sit up there and smoke weed. Shit, it was pretty cool, pretty relaxed. And that's what happened, man. Everybody was up there, chilling, watching the movie. And then when we came back from the movie, the kid went upstairs to D2, and I could hear the fucking commotion. I could hear the fucking, you knew that there was something crazy going on, that it was a physical altercation. Let's put it sounded like it. And I seen the kid's body when he came rolling down the steps, and there was a big knife sticking out of his back. He died at the bottom of them steps. Okay. The people was arrested for that was Cadillac Smith, and I think there were three others. Some dude named Wiggins, and a dude they used to call, what the fuck was it? Zero, and some other dude. And they were indicted. They tried to indict Cadillac, but for some reason they couldn't. They couldn't indict him. Okay. But he was known to be the shot caller on that, and the excuse for them doing this thing to this kid was because one of their Muslim friends, who was the rat who got stabbed by Cato, who became a government witness against Cato, that motherfucker, was their friend. And they felt they needed to address that situation. Instead of blaming Cato, who was in the hole already, because he's the one that did it, instead of going downstairs to see what the fuck was his name? The guys that went up there with him, instead of going to see them guys, they picked out the weakest motherfucker out of the whole bunch, the most softest target of all of them, and they murdered him. That kid didn't know what the fuck was going on. Okay? He did not ask Freddie Iannella. He didn't ask Freddie Iannella to go up there and put that guy in check. He didn't ask him that. Freddie Ionella did that on his own and took the people with him who also volunteered to go up there. Okay? He didn't ask for that, you know? And he certainly didn't have anything to do with Cato stabbing that guy. Nothing. He was just a kid who got caught up. Other people took actions based on what happened to him, and he had no control over any of that. He was doing 3 years. All he wanted to do was get out to the camp, try to get a parole, and if not, go home in 2 years. That was his mission in life. He was only there for about a week and a half, and they made the call to his parents. He had been murdered. Yeah, that's how it went, right? Imagine you're the father, the brother, the friend of this kid. That's it. He's gone. You can't take him back. You can't bring him back. He's gone, man. He's never coming back. And there was no rhyme or reason for it. Okay? That was pretty sad, man. You know. One good thing came from that is that the Federal Bureau of Prisons eventually, or almost immediately, I should say, started a new rule that when campers arrived in the institution, they were to be held in segregation on administrative detention, let's put it that way, not segregation, up until the time that they were released to the camp. Okay? And that was how they put a Band-Aid over that, you know. And then there was another situation in Terre Haute where Sonny Burkett was coming through, and Sonny was being transferred to Springfield for, I think that when he was stabbing that fucking kid Hogan, he accidentally stabbed himself in the knee while he was killing him, and it fucked his knee up, and he had to go to Springfield, and they would always route you through Terre Haute, and you'd end up spending a week in Terre Haute and catching another bus to Marion, back and forward, you know, going and coming. Anyway, he was laying over there for about a week, and while he was there, he managed to get his cell opened up at the same time as this black dude who was actually a camper. He was a camp inmate who had a disciplinary report from the camp. When you're at the camp and you get a disciplinary report, they bring you in and they put you into the administrative detention area, which in them days was high up. Anyway, you just, you know, and so here's Sonny Burkett, who's already killed like a couple of inmates by then, who was just happened to be there, holdover status, waiting to catch a bus back to Marion, you know. But his door happened to be open because of some oversight. And when this black dude, who was a camp inmate, was going to the law library, which they had one in this, you know, administrative segregation unit, they have a little law library that you can use. He ran out of his cell and brutally murdered the fucking guy. Right? What a piece of shit he was. There was no reason for that either. He's something about he made fun of some Mexican dude, and it was just another soft target, really, for Sonny to try to build up his street cred. That's all he was doing, you know. He's trying to build up his street cred and get all kinds of, you know, people thinking that he was a first class killer and all this. But all he was doing was getting people suspicious of him because why is he making these, why is he killing all these soft targets, man? What the hell's going on with this guy? Why is he trying to pretend that he's a killer, but he ain't killing nobody? He's just killing these weaklings. There was just, all he was doing was drawing suspicion on himself. Anyway, these things, these murders, they were the reason why the Federal Bureau of Prisons started initiating policies to keep camp inmates, regardless of what their status was, whether they were going to trial on a disciplinary report from the camp, or whether they were waiting to be sent to the camp, in regards to any reason whatsoever. Those people were to be kept separate, totally separate, under all situations, and from any inmates who were not on camp status, or they were never to be in the same, they were just never to be around other people who weren't camp, in other words. And that was these were the the dispositions that were created by the Federal Bureau of Prisons in relationship to these murders that were happening. And there may have been others. I think there may have been one in Lompoc too. I'm not sure. But that's the story about. And of course, when they killed Cadillac, that was like a blessing to me. I just went, wow, that's great, man. They finally got this piece of shit, yeah. And a lot of his own homeboys were happy about that too, because he'd fucked them over. He was like fucking them over for years when they were kids in Lorton Youth Center. He was fucking them over, and most of them didn't feel like they had any redress. They couldn't figure out a way to get even with him. They were intimidated by him. Yeah. So that's the story of why I've had personally enjoyed the fact that Tommy had, and Clay had, brutally murdered that fool. That's why. That's the main reason right there. Because I seen that kid's body. I didn't even know him. I seen him a couple times. That was it. He didn't have that coming though. That's for sure. And that's the end of this episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. All right, I'll come back tomorrow. I talked to John yesterday. We were talking about something. I forgot what it was, but he'll be back on in a couple of days. He's waiting to re-up his phone money, to re-up his phone account. And we'll talk to him maybe in a couple of days. All right, I'll see you guys.